Beautiful Lagos, hey. Land of mercy, land of success. For Lagos, everything is done change. I say Governor Body is doing a great job. Street lights all over Lagos. It's bringing out the beauty in Lagos.
Thanks for joining us on this week's episode of Lagos This Week, where we showcase the activities of Governor Akinwumi Ambode, members of his cabinet, private sector and development partners at home and abroad. I'm Funke Adesoji. On our program tonight, you will hear Governor Akinwumi Ambode emphasize the welfare and care for persons with disabilities. He says it remains one of his administration's priorities. The governor spoke at this year's celebration of the International Day for Persons with Disabilities. Governor Akinwumi Ambode on Friday graced the 2017 edition of the Experience Concert, held at the Tafawa Balewa Square. There, he commended the organizers of the concert for their donation of ICT infrastructure to 100 schools in the state and other various humanitarian interventions and corporate social responsibilities. Governor Ambode also attended the 2017 Community Day organized by the Ministry of Local Government and Community Affairs, where he said his administration has empowered community development associations to act as credible sources of information on the needs of the people. The governor stressed the need to rebuild broken homes, take back the youth from crime and create conducive environments for nurturing the youth and repositioning them for the future. Also in the week, the Lagos State Traffic Management Authority boss, Olawale Musa, spoke on the state government's commitment to managing the traffic grid at the proper axis of the state. According to him, the agency, in collaboration with other sister agencies, through the creation of a task force, is leaving no stone unturned to reduce and manage traffic impediments on that axis. Also on traffic management, Lagos business investors have reacted to the state government's commencement of an extensive rehabilitation of major link roads across the state, including roads in and around the popular Ladipo Auto Spare Parts Market. And that is in continuation of its drive to ensure smooth flow of traffic in that area. The Deputy Director, Ministry of Works and Infrastructure, Sheena Thorpe, said the road will be rehabilitated and upgraded to a dual carriageway. On education, the special advisor to Governor Akinwumi Ambode says improving education standard and ensuring mass literacy for all Lagosians is key to boosting the state's vision of a pacesetter in the overall achievement in all sectors. The special advisor says all the projects embarked on by the Ministry of Education are aimed at improving and sustaining the drive for qualitative education in the state. These and other stories in just a moment.
Beautiful Lagos, hey. Land of mercy, land of success. For Lagos, everything is done change. I say Governor Body is doing a great job. Street lights all over Lagos. It's bringing out the beauty in Lagos.
Welcome back. We begin this week's episode with Governor Akinwumi Ambode commemorating this year's International Day for Persons with Disabilities, where he restated his administration's commitment to their welfare and care. The governor pledged to make life easier for persons living with disabilities, describing them as an integral part of his administration.
For us in Lagos State, we see ability in disability. Always. We believe strongly that the socio-economic integration of persons with disabilities is not only a human right, but also a prerequisite for sustainable development. Our experience has shown that when people with disabilities are adequately empowered to participate in and lead the process of development, their entire families, communities, and even the larger society will benefit.
Other respondents at the event not only spoke of the challenges faced by physically challenged persons, but also called on government to key into this year's theme, which is transformation towards sustainable and resilient society for all.
It has been the cardinal objective of the current administration in Lagos State to ensure that persons with disability are not left out in any way, and that their rights and interests are protected and promoted through all policies and programs of the state.
The year 2017 International International Day of Persons Living with Disability is themed Transformation Towards a Sustainable and Resilient Society for All, which is very much in line with the inclusive policy of the administration of Mr. Akinwumi Ambode, that no one should be left behind. The Lagos State Governor is living up to his promise that no one will be left behind in the scheme of things during his tenure, either by gender, location, race, or based on physical disability. The administration believes that physically challenged persons in the state have meaningful contributions to advance the cause of governance in the same way as their able-bodied counterpart does.
Governor Akinwumi Ambode on Friday attended the 2017 edition of the Experience Concert held at the Tafawa Balewa Square. While commending the organizers of the event, House on the Rock, for its donations and various humanitarian interventions and corporate social responsibilities, he said Experience Concert in the past 12 years had continued to attract people from all walks of life, faith and socio-political persuasions, thereby dismantling the barriers and engendering a legacy of love, peace and unity.
Over the years, the experience has become an event for people from all walks of life and different faiths and socio-political persuasions. The event continues to dismantle the barriers of political affiliation, ethnic origin, and doctrinal differences through an unhindered expression of faith, through music, and engendering a legacy of love, peace, and unity. I salute the convener of the experience, Pastor Paul Adefarasin. You have shown leadership and a spirit of excellence, which has seen House on the Rock engage in several nation-building activities across this country, particularly in Lagos State. Your contributions to interreligious dialogue, empowerment of the youth, social reformation, and healthcare continue to positively impact the citizens of this state, and on behalf of the people of Lagos State, we say a big thank you. We commend the initiative embarked upon by the House on the Rock, which has furnished 100 secondary schools across Lagos State with more than fully equipped, air-conditioned, functional computer laboratories. I've just received the handover certificate for this donation of essential ICT infrastructure to the Lagos State education system by House on the Rock. This year, we celebrated 50 years of Lagos, and it is clear that our state is on track to becoming a globally competitive, dynamic, and sustainable megacity. However, to achieve full expression of our potential as a state, we require the cooperation and contribution of every person present here tonight.
Governor Akinwumi Ambode is optimistic that his strategy of inclusive governance has empowered community development associations to act as credible sources of information on the needs of the people. The governor, who spoke at the 2017 Community Day organized by the Ministry of Local Government and Community Affairs, also stressed the need to rebuild broken homes, create conducive environment for nurturing the youth and repositioning them for the future. According to him, his administration successfully delivered 114 new roads in the 20 local government and 7 local council development areas, rebranded the Neighborhood Watch into New Lagos State Neighborhood Corps to provide surveillance in the nooks and crannies of the state, among other bold moves.
Community development is at the heart of the policies of our administration and a key consideration in every government decision. It captures the vision and the mission of our administration to continually work for the general good of the people. At inception, we declared clearly our commitment to give governance to the citizens of this state, young and old, men and women, able and challenged. We said in our manifesto that wherever you come from, as far as you labor and add value to the productivity of a dynamic and vibrant state, our government shall work with you to make Lagos State a better, livable and more prosperous home. 2.5 years after, we signed that contract with you. We can confidently reflect on our policies, programs and projects, and assert that we have been true to our vision and we have been very honest in our mission.
Because of your giant strides in giving power to the community development practitioners have become the object of envy, adulation, and appreciation. They are fully recharged to do more to propagate the objectives of power administration, to defend the gains of democracy that you continue to give. This is an opportunity to thank Your Excellency for the deliberate approval of our initiatives, such as the training and monitoring and taking ownership of government projects. 2, the community business forums. 3, the tour of community development committees in the 57 councils, which provided us a very clear analysis of the states.
The theme of this year's celebration, community activity, that is aligning Lagos communities with private sector, aptly brings to the fore the gains of leadership training of July this year, sponsored by this administration, which apprised community leaders of the opportunity to key into corporate social responsibility as a vehicle to further development at grassroots level. The confidence reposed in us by this acquisition is unprecedented. Further, to taking over micro water schemes, representing His Excellency commissioning projects, he took us by surprise by allocating a day for communities during the Lagos Jubilee early this year.
Governor Body is doing a great job. Street lights all over Lagos. He's bringing out the beauty in Lagos.
Governor Akinwumi Ambode was given an award of excellence for effective leadership, demonstration of full and unalloyed commitment to pensioners, as well as his administration's pension obligation and the implementation of all the provisions of the Pension Reform Act of 2004. The event was organized by the Chartered Institute of Personnel Management, and the Honorable Commissioner of Establishment and Training received the award on behalf of the governor.
Of all the 36 governors, today, Governor Akinwumi Ambode remains the best. In fact, he is a first-class accountant. And apart from the governor's greatest economic expertise, the governor has the natural talent for converting that comparative nothing into something. Lagos State, though it's a state under the Federal Republic of Nigeria, but Lagos economy today is the Lagos State economy remains the 5th largest in the entire Africa. But Lagos State under Governor Akinwumi Ambode has been aspiring to be the 3rd largest economy. That's why you see Governor Akinwumi Ambode training their public servant in terms of human capacity, so that the public servant, 1, can get more productivity, and 2, they can cope effectively with their counterpart all over the world. Are we talking in terms about the roles of LASPEC? Look at what LASPEC has been doing. All the pensioners, Lagos State government has been paying their gratuity as at when due. Today, Lagos State government has paid under Governor Akinwumi Ambode well over 61 billion in the last 30 months. It speaks volumes. When other states cannot pay their salaries, when other state doesn't know what to do.
The Lagos State Traffic Management Authority boss, Olawale Musa, says the state government, through its constituted traffic task force on the Papa Oshodi axis, remains committed to freeing that area of all traffic impediments. The agency boss, as well as business drivers, highlighted the significance the axis in the economic growth and business development of both the state and federal government.
For every 10 articulated vehicles, those vehicles that you see parked there on the road, 7 are are carrying empty container. Empty. They are not going, that container, they are not going to use it to carry, they are not exporting it. Just for them to drop it at the port and go. For every 10 you see. You know the problem? There's nowhere for them to put it. So they end up with their container and stay on the road. So when we gave them the ultimatum, we started moving them. But the governor was magnanimous because we had to go back. Because at the end of the day, we are going to punish those transporters for nothing, not their fault. That person cannot turn around his business. When you carry container, you'll be there for 10 days. You could have gone 3-4 times now. And we are not going to tow your vehicle. Then we fine you for obstruction. At the end of the day, you pay a lot of money. And it's not your fault. It's the port operations. There is something wrong there. You don't have control over it. And it's high time people begin to see it. It's not a matter, yes, we have bad roads. Yes. But the bad roads are these, those vehicles still pass. They enter the port. How come they don't reduce? It's a systemic failure and an aberration that we should not encourage. That should not be happening. Not in this society.
For the first time I experienced the most terrible gridlock anybody could ever encounter in any civilized country. You are not going to achieve all this unless you look at the critical sectors like your port, connection between your port and the people that are supposed to serve. When you look at hundreds of thousands of trailers parked waiting for days and weeks to load and to offload, we are only deceiving ourselves about progress in terms of tangible terms. So if we are able to, as a matter of deliberate effort in this ease of doing things, partnership, credible partnership between federal government and Lagos State government will have at least solved about 30% of the problem. We expect that if there is a collaboration between Lagos State and federal government, then the basic suffering we have on the so-called federal road, the basic suffering we have in terms of energy should not be.
Still on traffic management, business investors have reacted to the state government's commitment to the extensive rehabilitation of major link roads across the state, as well as the popular Ladipo Auto Spare Parts Market on the Mushin axis of Lagos. According to Deputy Director, Ministry of Works and Infrastructure, Shina Thorpe, the state government, realizing the economic value of Ladipo Street, which is a 2.87 kilometers road that connects Agege Motor Road to Apapa Oshodi Expressway service lane at Toyota bus stop, decided to rehabilitate and upgrade the road to a dual carriageway. He said the government was also rehabilitating and upgrading Akiwumi Street, a strategic road that connects Ladipo Street to Apapa Oshodi Expressway at 5-star bus stop, including Obagun Road, which links Badejo Kalejaye Street with Fatai Atere, which in turn connects Ladipo Street to Agege Motor Road.
It's going to show that our governor is not a sentimental governor, because the road has been overdue for reconstruction. And once that is done, it will boost the business activities in Mushin local government. And being that the business is well going there, it will also help the people that are doing business there to pay their tax. When that is done, another thing that the government should do is to ensure that the task force people are there to move in everybody along the road, because they are the ones spoiling the road. Once they move into the complex, they will do their business. There's a lot of complexes in that Ladipo. They are all empty. But these people prefer to be along the road. And when you come in there, sometimes you could stay 1-2 hours in a small place just because of a hold-up, because people are trading on the street.
On education, Senior Advisor to Governor Akiwumi Ambode on education, Fela Bankolemo, has said all projects embarked on by the Ministry of Education will improve and sustain growth in the state education sector and also improve mass literacy across the state. He spoke on some of the projects he has embarked on, such as Eko Keko, Lagos is Learning, Code Lagos, Ready, Set, Work, as well as library programs. Hear him.
The government is passionate about education. The deputy governor is also very, very passionate about education, as you know. So I think for us in Lagos State, this is there's a convergence, knowing that for Lagos to continue to prosper, education is very, very critical. And that's where you're seeing this level of commitment in the way we're doing education in Lagos State. When we reviewed the education landscape, there are some key areas that we felt we had to intervene, you know, where the government took us to look into and find ways of solving things quickly. So one key area is when it comes to our graduates in Lagos State. When the governor came in 2015, one of the key things private sector told him was complaining about the quality of the graduates that come to our tertiary institutions. So he gave us a mandate to solve that problem, and what we did was come with a program called Ready Set Work. So Ready Set Work was our response to that, where we came up with a 13-week program, Saturdays only, for final year students in our schools. You know, so we started that last year with a pilot of 500 students. The location was at LASU. We had over close to 3,000 students. We picked 500, you know, and we got private sector partners, you know, to train them over the next 13 weeks. The curriculum we used was, we came up with that curriculum in partnership with the HR directors of private sector organizations. And I think at the end of the program, close to over 100, close to 200 of them were placed in companies, you know, paid internship across the country. You know, both GT Bank, Access Bank, System Specs, PwC, Total, among others, and also small SME companies. You know, so that was very, very exciting to us. And the feedback we got from private sector was fantastic. So this year, the government approved for us to scale it up. So what we did this year was, from 500 students, we did 2,000 final year students. From 3 schools, we did 6 schools. Ekongeko was also very, very exciting. You know, for us, we have the Agency of Mass Education, which is focused on informal education in Lagos State. And one of the key targets we set for ourselves was to reduce the literacy rate in Lagos State. So to do that, we had literacy centers across the state, but we felt we needed to scale up that. So we launched a new program to reinvigorate it called Ekongeko, Lagos is Learning. And this year alone, we have trained 750 new adult literacy centers. Prior to when we started this year, we had 532 adult literacy centers. So our plan was to open 1,000 more. We have 750, so we've trained over 750 facilitators. So we're opening new facilities every day all around Lagos. What we also did was to ask ourselves, where should we place these centers? So we partnered with NURTW, we partnered with our market association, we partnered with our mechanic association. So what we've done is that in all these places, we've put our adult literacy center, and it's totally free. You know, so I mean, if you go to our centers, I'm sure you've been to our centers, you can see what we're trying to do in that space. What we're saying is that if you're in Lagos, you cannot read and write, there's a center close to you. You know, we also partner with religious organizations. There's a church everywhere, there's a mosque everywhere, so we also partner with them to make our centers accessible to everybody.
Finally on the show, job seekers and unemployed youth in the state now have reasons to smile as the Lagos State government has set up Lagos State Employability Support Project, which is calling on all unemployed youth of Lagos pursuing careers in construction, entertainment, garment making, healthcare, hospitality and manufacturing to improve on their economic dependency. The program, which was taken to Ikorodu and Ekpe local governments of the state, saw a huge turnout of job seekers and artisans filling forms and registering for various skills. The program, which was taken to Ikorodu and Ekpe local governments of the state, saw a huge turnout of job seekers and artisans filling forms and registering for various skills. According to the executive secretary of the program, Akintunde Oyebode, they are committed to training approximately 10,000 people in the first phase, and the program is expected to run for more than 10 months, depending on the training needs of individuals on their chosen field. But each training is expected to span a period of 30 to 90 days.
The program is really designed to improve technical and vocational education outcomes, and we're doing this in partnership with the United Nations Development Program, UNDP, and we focused on, in the first phase, on five sectors. So there's manufacturing, construction, hospitality, entertainment, and healthcare. And our overall outcome is to be able to train approximately 10,000 people with a mandate to place at least 60% of them immediately after the training.
I feel this form to get something doing.
I want to learn hairdresser. I want to learn electrician.
I want to learn something that will make me improve so that I will take good care of my children.
Lagos State is really working.
My expectation when I get to the training ground is they should give us qualified teachers that will train us, and when we get to where we are going to work, the people that will meet there will see that they train us very well.
Gómìnà wa try gan o, ètò tí ẹ ṣe sẹ́pẹ̀ Ọlọ́run á ràn lọ́wọ́. Iṣẹ́ yẹn mo fẹ́ kó tiẹ̀ help ọmọ mi kó gbé débi gíga.
This whole employability program is going to run for a period of 18 months. This training program, which is due to start at the end of this month, depending on the trade, will run from 30 to 90 days. And this is just the first wave. As we progress with this engagement, we will definitely expand the sectors to include new areas. So we'll set out on what is a really big journey. Just getting to the first destination, which is training the people, is one milestone. But then ultimately placing the people will be a second milestone.
That's how far we can go on the show. Stay tuned next week for another package.
Beautiful Lagos, hey. Land of mercy, land of success. For Lagos, everything is done change. I say Governor Body is doing a great job. Street lights all over Lagos. He's bringing out the beauty in Lagos. Beautiful Lagos, hey. Land of mercy, land of success. For Lagos, everything is done change. I say Governor Body is doing a great job. Street lights all over Lagos.